I don't. What was that? What did we just watch? What the hell was that? What? I mean, bro. What did we just watch? Let's get this thing going, huh? 3, 2, 1. Yo. I don't care. I'm so mad. It's so ridiculous. Golly. A 20-point lead. A 20-point lead, dude. Like, what? And they were without two of their best players. One of their leading scorers. You can't beat these guys in your own backyard, even though it's a little ways south of your backyard. Make sure you like, share, subscribe if you're new. Shout out to Patreon. We might actually break 100 Patreon supporters by the end of the year. Here in, we're not far away from New Year's. Incredible. I appreciate you guys. I apologize if I'm a little angry. What, bro? Oh, my God. All right. That is infuriating. That second half, that whole game, most of it was just infuriating. Even when you had this big lead. Even when you have this big lead. All right. Shout out to Patreon supporters. I appreciate you guys. Also, we gotta get Discord popping. Join Discord. That is where the action is happening. Right there's the link for you down in live chat. For those of you who are watching this after the fact. This Direct Service Overhead, sponsor of this show, offering 10% off any garage door repair. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. They won't let you down when they've got a big lead. Give them a call today, 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Better than best results. Also, the Odd Soul Craft Bar Pizzaria, another place that will not let you down when they got a big lead. They've always got a big lead. Fantastic pies. I ate some pizza. I ate some Odd Soul last night, as a matter of fact. Great IPAs on tap. Wonderful environment. Go check them out. The Odd Soul Craft Bar Pizzaria, located on Emma Street in Springdale. Oh, my gosh. Share, please. I do appreciate you guys for coming through. You guys are coming through. You're coming here. You're coming to this show. I appreciate you. Ashton Wilson says up 20, 59-39, and wins 69-66. What the? It made no damn sense. Did they realize that this wasn't a scrimmage? I know the lights, we had to look at that disgusting floor. Stop playing games. When you have opportunities to play at home, play them at home. Stay out of Little Rock. Stay the hell out of Tulsa. Just play them at home. Get out of Arlington. God. This team is just not playing well right now, and the SEC schedule is just around the corner. Says Arky56. You are correct, Pops. They're playing bad, dude. I mean, the team that we know is more than capable of putting guys like this away were on the floor for a little bit. They had a 20-point lead until they didn't. Just awful. Like, you should have just been able to put them away. It shouldn't have been that hard. What's up, SLR? Sports Live Reaction. He's in chat. He agrees. A win is a win. It's whatever, says Eric Mahler. Sometimes even ugly wins can show you a lot. And they could be more detrimental to what's going on. A team like Lipscomb, even with those two guys that were out for them, this shouldn't have been a tough game. You should have been able to put these guys away. Should have been a double-digit lead most of this game. They do not know how to play with leads. Guys, I didn't think we'd be having this discussion this early. Lipscomb's not good. They're not a good team. And yeah, it's Little Rock. I hear that. And maybe they'll figure out how to play. Maybe they'll learn something from this. But how often have we said that already this year? How often have we said that? It's like every game we're saying this. I got to turn the heat off. I don't know why I'm hot. That game pissed me. That second half just royally pissed me off. That was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen. They went on a 15-0 run. Pruitt ran right by everybody, whoever was defending him, whether it was Devo, Mark, it didn't matter. He just walked by these dudes to get to the rim. Wide open shots outside. Now, they shot 30. They ended up going 23%. It feels like they shot 50%, but they had so many wide looks. I made a comment in Discord about their air balls. Someone made a comment about a couple of air balls they made, and actually they had like 4 or 5 at that point. And I said, yeah, they're airballing because they're so shocked at how wide open they are. They're so shocked. Oh my God, I can go pour a tea here and make a cup of coffee and shoot a wide open three. They have no discipline on defense. They have no discipline as a team. With the technicals, Brazil kicking a guy, Devo getting it. Of course, that was another game. Devo, who you could have had a technical go against Lipscomb. Instead, you had 2 technicals that offset each other. You had Graham, after a play, leaning over the guy. Like, Musselman has got to rein these guys in. They play like a bunch of individuals. There's no flow to this team. It was great. It was great seeing Menefeld play. Now, we knew he wasn't going to have a dramatic impact. You know, he might take a while to get going. At this point, you can brag on any one of these guys in terms of their capability, and yet that's just it. We're not seeing them flow as a team. We're seeing individual play. None of your starters ended up in double-digit scoring. Of course, we know they went with Brazil, Lawson, Pinion, Davenport, and Devo. Graham provided a nice spark. I mean, I'm not going to hate on the guy. I don't like some of those threes he was taking. He ends up going 0 for 3, but he was 5 of 6 shooting overall. Could have sworn he had a rebound. ESPN says no. He had 11 points. Could have sworn he had at least a couple of rebounds. Mitchell also, not a bad game. 5 boards, 1 assist, a steal, and 12 points. And, of course, it was Tremont Mark who really opened things up with, 3 threes there in the first half. I mean, he was on fire. He shot 3 of 4 outside. How do you shoot 53%, 30 of 57, 33% outside, but it was 15 attempts. That's not great. 15 attempts, you need to be north of like 40%. Okay, that's not great. 15 attempts and you shot 33%. That's not good. Okay, that's probably the equivalent of like 20 shots at 25% or something. It's not great. But 53% and 30 of 57 and have this kind of a game and where you don't break 70 points and the game be as close as it is. Lipscomb, I don't know, Arkansas, once again, the play clock gets down under 15 seconds, they're in trouble. They're going to switch to zone, and Arkansas doesn't know what to do. Nobody was looking for any looks outside. Mark, I don't know why. I kind of was hoping Mark would take a couple more shots in the second half. Nobody in any real serious foul trouble, so it's not like you were concerned about that. Menefeld had 3 fouls, I thought one of which was kind of bullshit. They only took 8 free throws. Only 8 free throws tonight, and they were 50%, 4 of 8. That can't happen either. You ought to be 100% off 8 attempts or at least 70, 75, 80%. I mean, they couldn't get to the free throw line. Lipscomb played pretty well disciplined defense. I mean, they really did. I didn't see a whole lot of obvious fouls. Yeah, there was a couple of times. I think Battle drove the lane in the first half. It clearly should have been a foul. He didn't get the whistle. There were a couple of those, sure. But mostly Lipscomb just played really well disciplined basketball. You got to tip your cap to them to some degree. They only turned the ball over 9 times. Lipscomb did. Arkansas turned the ball over 14 times. This undisciplined level of basketball, it's just so unbecoming of a Musselman coach team. Guys, they're in trouble. I'm just going to say it right now. They're in trouble. If I really don't know what to tell you. I'm not liking it. This is not good basketball. And it is the worst, not even just offensive team. It's the worst team he's put on the floor. So far, doesn't even come close. I'd take that 2020 team over this. Last year's team that went sub 500 in SEC play. They're in some big trouble if they don't get some stuff fixed. You are not going to the tournament with an 8-10 conference record. You're not. There's no way. No way. And I know their losses, they're all to tournament caliber teams. I get that. But the way they've played so far, outside of the freaking exhibition game against Purdue and maybe Duke, who obviously is a little bit overrated, not playing great ball right now, bro, they're not in the tournament. I'll tell you right now, if the tournament was decided in January or the end of January, this is not a tournament team. 100% not a tournament team. If you argue with that and don't agree, you're not watching the damn games. Some of these games I've watched twice. Some of these games I've watched highlight after highlight, and I'm telling you, there's so many issues with this team defensively. Whether it's an issue with playing with space, we've seen them when they get 12, 13, 14-point leads, silly turnovers, wasted possessions, no ball movement, shot clock issues. It's like all the above. They don't know how to play with a lead, with a decent lead. They don't know how to pile on leads. They're just lost. It's a team full of individuals. And that's the problem. Nobody seems to be on the same page. You saw who threw that ball to Brazil. Brazil clearly wasn't even looking for it. Was that Devo or Mark? And that happened a couple times in this game. Lipscomb shoots 38%, 26 and 67. They were 7 of 30 outside, so they shot just south of 39% overall. They were 7 of 9 at the free throw line. Okay, I'm sure they'd like some more trips to the free throw line like Arkansas. 78% there. For their starting 5 in double digits, McCormick played unbelievable for them. 2 assists, 12 rebounds. This dude by himself had 5 offensive rebounds. That was almost as many as Arkansas had total. Of course, a lot of those were long threes. A lot of those were threes that are just, getting ejected off the rim. Long bounces. Those, if you're in the right place at the right time, which Lipscomb, clearly a team that likes to shoot the three, they just knew where to be, and they were there with the rebounds. It's just kind of how it is when you take 30 shots outside. Like if they're going to brick it, brick hard. Other than that, they airballed, right? I think they airballed probably 4 or 5 times. But McCormick was incredible for them, 13 points. He did turn the ball over 3 times, 2 assists and a steal. Arkansas just struggled with him. They struggled definitely with Pruitt. That guy beat everybody off the dribble. 5 boards for him. He had a good game. 3 turnovers, though, but 5 boards. They end up with 12 offensive rebounds. Arkansas has 8, so they're +4 on you in that category. You only out-rebound a team that you have size and length on. That's not going to happen very much. When you talk about size, height, I'm not talking length. You have them beat in both categories, and you only +1 them on the boards. I'm telling you, there are so many things wrong with this team. Offensively, again, no rhythm, no flow. They go dead after about 14 seconds on the play clock. Watch them. They're standing there like no one knows. You've got guys. You got Brazil just kind of standing. He's got his arm up, no movement. What are they doing? What is this? This is some horrible basketball. When they go on that nice little run, they're on this. I don't know what the actual score ratio was, but it was really good ball. We see them do that for 8 to 12 minutes in a game, And sometimes when they just really are feeling it, they're going to go on pretty nice runs. A little bit of spurt ability. I hate saying that. It almost feels comedic at this point, but a little bit. And their defense for a little while, again, for several possessions, they looked better. And then they just go on this run. Lipscomb knocks down a couple open threes. They don't even have to force the turnovers. Arkansas does it themselves. This is some bad ball. I'm just going to say it. This is some of the worst. This is Mike Anderson era level basketball. And I don't know if this is Musselman. I don't know if this team is distracted. I don't know. Maybe it was just all Little Rock, and this was not the place to really start, to rebuild, try to figure out the rest of the season. Maybe this wasn't the place to do it. I don't know. That sounds like a bullshit excuse to me. What we saw in terms of execution just wasn't there. Awful ball. I'm telling you guys, the way they're playing right now. I mean, listen, you still got UNC Wilmington left, and they're 8-2, playing some really good ball. Would you take Arkansas over them right now? I wouldn't. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably, if we don't see something against Abilene Christian, which, I mean, how much is that game going to really tell you? But the way Arkansas played tonight, hell, they could beat you. I wouldn't take Arkansas against UNC Wilmington. I wouldn't. They have regressed. This early in the year, they have regressed, and it's crazy. I hope to God I'm overreacting. But what I saw tonight, blowing that lead, it's just bad basketball. Now, again, can they turn this around? Yes, they have the parts. We know Musselman can do it, but it's not a given just because you've done it the previous 3 years. This is the worst team he's put on the floor so far, with the capability of being one of the best teams he's had here, and that's what's so mind-blowing. We've seen flashes. We saw it against Purdue. We saw it against Duke. We have seen this team have moments. We saw it a little bit tonight where it's just like, okay, if this is how they're going to play, no one's beating them. But, of course, they can't do it. They can't do it consistently. They don't know how. So, right now, don't even ask me. I'm just going to tell you right now, I wouldn't put them anywhere near the tournament. This is pure shit basketball. It's infuriating. Damn, Ty, they hit deep. We are playing Mike Anderson level ball right now. Oh, that hit deep. Yeah. I agree, Ty. Regressed. It all started with the lights before the game started. I don't think so, Leslie. I don't think so. And listen, I'm not saying they can't turn this thing around, but we haven't seen them do it on a game-to-game basis. Where is it? They're going to have to figure out a way to play outside of Fayetteville, says Leslie. And you're not wrong, Leslie. I agree with that. Looks like they just want NIL, and if they win, okay. If not, okay. Brandon Howard says Devo is literally shooting 35% and leading the team in turnovers. Yet Battle scored 20 plus 5 times and rides the bench. Makes sense. Is that right? Devo wasn't turning the ball over a whole lot. I don't know about that. I mean, what did he end up with tonight? Let's look at their individual numbers. Devo, I'm not going to tell you I've been impressed. I'll tell you that much. He did have 4 turnovers tonight, but I know there was a while there, the first several games to start the year, he didn't have a single turnover. I think lately he has played. He has the silly turnovers have come back for him. Yeah, he led the team with 4. Blocker had 3. So again, Arkansas 17 assists. They're plus 3 in the assist to turnover category, but 14 just can't be a number you're happy with in turnovers. You got to be thrilled about the 17 assists. I mean, how about Blocker tonight with 4 assists? Davenport and Davis, Devo and Davenport had 6 between the two of them. Brazil did have 6 boards, 6 points, 1 assist, a block. Arkansas ended up with their fewest amount of blocks, I think, all year, right? Have they had fewer than 5 blocks on the year? They had 5 tonight, 4 steals. This is some shit ball, y'all. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not good. Wish we ran an offense, actual plays with picks and screens. That's been a criticism for a while. Rams Better says, I need help. How do I pull a hot freshman? Dribble, dribble, pass, dribble, dribble, pass. That's their offensive game plan. Panic, panic, pass. No probing. Just, you know what? Pass, panic. Shot clock at 8, 7, 6. I don't think they had a single shot clock violation tonight. If they did, I'm sorry. I don't think they did. Which is okay, wonderful. Appreciate the retweets on social. Thank you, Unbiased. I appreciate you, man. They are. This is Mike Anderson level ball. It just looks. They have no identity. I don't know what they really are. It's bad. And again, it's going to take a lot of work to get this thing figured out. Donley Deason says getting weird. Bobby Swain, zero identity. They have no offensive identity. What are they? What are they? I mean, it'd be nice if they could rely on Mark to knock down the amount of, to shoot 3 or 4 outside every game. But you're not seeing this stuff consistently. I'm happy they won before someone comes at me with some bullshit. Yeah, I'm happy they won. But it was such an ugly loss. And this game could tell you more about what's happening and some of the issues. And again, the way you played tonight, you might very well lose another game before conference play. It's about how you looked. It's about what you see with your eyes. A win's great. If you win the next 2 games, 69-66, or if you win, ugly, okay, well, at least you're getting into conference play with just 4 losses, I guess, and you'll take that, sure, but then you have to start thinking about conference play. You're going to open up against Auburn. That game's going to be here before you know it, January 6th. They don't play again till the 21st, so we're going to go on another long break here before Abilene Christian, and then they go on a 9-day break to take on UNC Wilmington. They better be prepared. I'm telling you, the way they played tonight, they're not beating UNC Wilmington. The way they played tonight. The way they played tonight, that team's lucky to win 2-3 conference games. Just bad. I listen, this is what's different between me and the radio. Between me and most anybody covering Arkansas sports. I bring it, man. That's just the fact. I'm telling you, this was frustrating. Had no business blowing that lead to these guys. I mean, you can make the argument that Lipscomb wins this game easily if they play like they did. Both teams play like they did in the second half and the first half. Wasn't good. I sound like a good buddy of mine, Donley and I have in common. I do. And I hate to say it, but I think our mutual friend is correct. This is not a good team. Now, unlike our mutual friend, I'm not taking them out of anything. I got to see it first. I want to see it. I want to see this thing play out. I want to see what they can do. If there's anybody capable, that's the difference between me and some folks. I'm going to let this thing play out. Okay? We're going to react here. I don't think anything I said was false, and I mean everything I said tonight, by the way. But if there's anybody who could fix this situation, fix the issue with this team, it is Musselman, and he has the parts, and that's the thing you have to grant this team. They have the parts to fix this. Do I wish they had a couple more bigs, a couple guys with some more size? They could play a physical brand of ball down low and maybe a little bit of depth down there. Again, maybe a couple 6'10", 6'11" guys, maybe a 7-footer. Those guys don't come easy. Those guys, that's a difficult thing to do, to build a team like that. And by the way, a lot of teams don't build their teams like that. They're very guard heavy. The NBA's guard heavy. College basketball's very guard heavy. And the thing that's always set these teams apart is Arkansas plays with a certain style on defense. A certain style, and they've always got tall guards. They've got big guards. They don't run around with a lot of 6'1", 6'2" guys. It's 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", bigger combo guards. And that's not much different this year. There is a lack of size, overall size, down low in the paint, but they make up for that with guys with some length, which Lawson has. Brazil can play with that length. Mitchell's got a little bit of length. He's got a little bit of size. There are some parts missing, but at the same time, they have the puzzle pieces. They're just not fitting. Nothing is fitting. And it's really discouraging to watch. Now, all I'm saying is if the tournament started in January and not March, this would be a very, very difficult team to put in the tournament. And again, they went 8-10 last year, so let's not sit here and pretend like it's an automatic they're going to be above 500 in conference play, that they're going to somehow win 22, 23 games outside of getting some wins maybe in the NCAA or in the SEC tournament. It's very, very, very infuriating watching these guys play sometimes. So, TB's scared to go in the paint. He looks so timid. Man. Hey, Super Chat. Whoa, we haven't had one of those in a while. Appreciate that, man. Elvin Gully, $5 Super Chat. I said it last season, and it's still true. Musk doesn't recruit basketball skill and basketball IQ. He recruits pure athletes. I don't disagree with that. I don't see a lot of high IQ plays, not all the time. We do see guys, they certainly have hustle, and they certainly try. It's a lack of execution. Transition defense. Now, tonight, I don't know that was a big problem. It was just a lot of careless basketball. Line drills tonight when they get back from North Little Rock. You might be on to something, Leslie. You might be on to something there, Leslie. R. Ward says they keep playing to the level of their competition. I haven't seen a team that looks so like they don't give a damn when they're up 14, 16, not that that's been that often this year, but when they've got good-sized leads or even 10, 12-point leads, there's no – I don't know. It's almost like they're maybe they're overconfident. I don't know. I don't know how to put that into words. I don't know what to say. They just don't know how to play with any kind of a lead. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to keep leads. They struggle at keeping leads. When the other team catches a little bit of momentum, Arkansas just kind of falls flat on their face. I mean, tonight was just – I feel like I wasted $500 on tickets to the UT game. Oh. Well, I wouldn't go that far yet, okay? We got to get some conference games under our belt, but Eric Mueller says ego. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's ego. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. There's no sense of urgency with this team. The issue up until tonight has been transition defense has just been awful. Transition defense has been bad. Perimeter defense bad. It wasn't good tonight. Transition defense was not good tonight. Lipscomb lanes to the rim were open quite a bit. They were. We'll get it pulled together. Kate, I certainly hope so. I mean, this was a Lipscomb team, again, missing two of their best players off their roster. One of their leading scorers, a guy averaging, like 17, 18 points a game. This was not the kind of team that you should have struggled the way they did. You shouldn't have blown a lead, and you shouldn't have needed them to miss an open three at the end of the game to avoid getting to overtime. I don't know. I mean, that 15-0 run was just – Reese Mercer says, is battle toxic? And this is the difficulty when you're building from the outside in, not from the inside out. Nobody's going to build from the inside out anymore. In other words, when you recruit high school players and you have time to kind of develop them along the way, that's different. You could create camaraderie that way when you're recruiting these guys in high school. How often do you hear about, and I could tell you, these guys texting each other, becoming friends. Sometimes they're McDonald All-American teammates. Sometimes they are teammates. Sometimes they play against each other. from high school. There's some kind of camaraderie there, the whole recruiting process. Whereas the transfer portal, you just go and grab guys. And it's like, okay, put it together, now go work. Go play basketball as a team. It's hard to do. It takes a little bit longer compared to being able to build from the inside out where you have time. And maybe these guys stick around 3 seasons, 2-3 years. I know Devo obviously has been here for 4, Pinion's back for year 2. But you've got a freshman in rotation and everybody else's transfers outside of Devo. It's so damn hard to get these guys to play, to be on the same page and to find any form of energy together. And you're seeing it. We saw it last year, but they were able to kind of avoid the issues. They found a way to get into the tournament, and the rest is kind of history. And they go on that Sweet 16 run, and they kind of figure it out there towards the end. Some of that just great individual play, but we also saw them figure it out as a team. This team can't afford to wait that long. They can't. You've already got 4 losses. Your net ranking is going to shrink, and you've still got a really tough non-conference opponent coming to Fayetteville here in a couple of weeks. Cannot afford to wait this long to get this figured out. And so you're trying to figure this out with all these transfers. Now, last year, Arkansas did have guys that kind of knew each other during the recruiting process. Black and Nick Smith and Walsh, these guys, there was a process there, but they were still freshmen. I'm talking about being able to keep guys and again, build from the inside out. Have guys that form a bond. They have a couple of off seasons together. That form of basketball is kind of gone. It's going the way of the dodo bird. It's just going away. So now you have to expect these guys to figure it out sooner than later and figure out how to play together as a team. And think about it too. They were stars at the teams they come from. They were the big dogs on their teams. They're coming here and they're having to find a whole new role. A whole new, a whole different set of minutes that they're getting per game, and maybe they're coming off the bench. It's that is part of it. I get it. That's not lost on me, but we've seen that now for 3 years, mostly 4 years, really, and other teams have not struggled as much as this team has. This is not a new concept. This is not the first year they're doing this, and they've got to get it figured out. It's. What we saw tonight is a massive red flag. But the good thing is about basketball, you've got to get 7 or 8 guys to just figure it out versus, 23 guys on a football team, but it's fortunately you don't have to turn this thing over with a full, I don't know how big, what's the roster size in college football, is 150 or whatever. You don't have to do that. You just got to get 8 or 9 guys to buy in and to start doing what you're asking them to do and for them to find chemistry on the floor. And maybe they'll find it. The turnaround shouldn't be near as bad as it is. So far, it looks like it's going to be. Trip with the super chat. Appreciate that, man. Games like this just make me appreciate attending the few games in Little Rock because I know damn well the days of Little Rock games are numbered in single digits. Trip, I appreciate the super chat. They need to stop playing there altogether. There's always next season. Hero, we're not there. I don't do that. I don't do that here. You guys can do that. That's fine. I don't do the on to next year stuff. No, I believe they can. They at least have the capability of turning this thing around. They have the capability of doing that because we've seen them do it before. But those are different guys outside of Devo. Those are different guys. Again, Muss is a great coach, and it's not a guarantee just because he's done it for the last 3 years. Back-to-back Elite Eights, 3 straight Sweet 16s. It's not guaranteed that that's going to happen again. But I'm also not. You're never going to hear me on. You're not going to hear me say on to next year. KJ on to Auburn. Is that official? Is KJ on to Auburn? Y'all don't do that to me. I do not want him in the SEC. Or is that just a guess? If I had to guess, maybe it would be Auburn. It certainly feels like that would make the most sense. No, I don't see anything here. Someone made a comment about his statement, about KJ's statement. I didn't read his whole. It's been a dream to be a captain in QB1 at the University of Arkansas, accomplishing those records and being mentioned amongst the great quarterbacks in Arkansas history. It was an honor, but the memories and friendships I've made with my coaches and teammates along the way are what I'll cherish the most. To the fans, I can't express my gratitude enough for all the support I've received from this great state. I hope you've enjoyed watching me grow as a man and a player as much as I've enjoyed representing this state and university. You accepted me as one of your own, and for that, I'm forever grateful and in your debt. With that being said, after much prayer and thought, I'll be entering the transfer portal for my final year of eligibility. I think someone got fooled by the fake account. Someone got fooled. There's a fake account out there where KJ said something like, I don't know. It apparently wasn't super great. It was something like, I'm out this bitch or something. I don't know. There's a fake KJ account. People kind of fell for it. I don't know where he goes. I would guess Auburn, but I have no idea. Steve Dobbins says, all you Little Rock haters, Lipscomb would have drawn 5,000 butts in the seats at Bud, and this team would have still given up a 20-point lead. Here's the thing, though, Steve. What do you have to gain by playing in Little Rock? And by the way, they probably would have drawn more, or they would have drawn more than what you said, 5,000. I don't know if they would have drawn a big crowd, because here's the thing. You have all year for that game. You have all year for one game. What happened at War Memorial? You have all year, and we've seen the way they've shown up down there for that game. And that's not me hating on – I'm not trying to hate on Little Rock people. I've said numerous times I think the most hardcore Hog fans are outside of NWA, and I stand by that. It's not about being Little Rock haters. It's about being loyal to where you play, where your team plays its sports. Being loyal to Fayetteville. Getting out of Arlington, getting out of these neutral site bullshit games that you're doing every year, getting out of Little Rock every other year. You don't need to be down there. You need to be in Fayetteville. That's what this is about. You have all year. Of course people are going to show up for that game. Again, the most hardcore fans are outside of Northwest Arkansas. There's some hardcore folks up here, but the most hardcore fans are outside of NWA. And I hope when they do eventually get out of Central Arkansas, I hope you remain that. I hope you stay that way. There's not very many schools that cater to the rest of the state the way Arkansas does, and that made them unique for a very long time. But they need to get away from it. I mean, that's just – I have Little Rock people that tell me this all the time. My Discord, I've had so many Little Rock people or folks in down in the Delta. They all say the same thing. I don't want to play in Little Rock anymore. Basketball or football or baseball or anywhere for that matter. Play – when you have the opportunity to play in your state, you play on your campus, not away from it. Not me being a hater. I love the folks down in Central Arkansas. I love the folks down there. It's time to get out. Ty, you have another good podcast coming up soon about KJ leaving Arkansas, and he left today. I mean, yeah, I'm going to talk about it on Monday. Bonehead, inopportune turnovers, killed the Hogs. This team is overconfident and can play when teammates feel like it, not coach or fans waiting on March Madness. It might be egos. You guys might be right about that. It might be egos. No sense of urgency, says Raphael Johnson. I watched Tremont Mark on back-to-back possessions get the ball at the free throw and kill his dribble TB, same exact thing. What's up with the transition offense? Yeah, they're bad in transition all the way around. I don't understand when the shot clock gets down under 15 seconds. You talk about a lack of sense of urgency. No movement. No movement, whether it's in the paint. Sometimes you get guys moving around out in the perimeter. You see a lot of guys standing around. I don't understand it. It made sense back when most stadiums were modest, says Brian. With the investments they put into modern stadiums, it is amazing they keep doing it. Seems like a bad investment. I mean, the people talk about the crime. I know plenty of people. I say plenty. I know a couple of folks have had issues down there when it comes to some bullshit going on down Little Rock. Little Rock is turning into the same 1980s, 1990s crime-infested place. Listen, Little Rock has always had an issue with crime, okay? Crime per capita is, what is it? Is it gun violence per capita? Is some crazy stat. I mean, they're up there. But you don't really hear very often, maybe I'm wrong, please correct me if I am, you don't hear of people having a lot of issues going to Simmons or going to War Memorial. Cars getting broken into, yeah, but guess what? That happens in Fayetteville too. Fayetteville, south side of town, has had its own set of issues. I'm not a hater. I hope no one takes me as a Little Rock hater. I'm not a Little Rock hater. I don't hate Little Rock. I love the people down there. The most diehard fans can be found in Little Rock, can be found in that whole area. It just doesn't make sense to keep playing down there. It doesn't make sense. Listen, the light thing tonight was what it was. I don't know how that happens. I think they're blaming. They're not blaming the arena. They're blaming someone that works within the building. I don't know. Ty, is TB afraid of injury, trying to save his NBA career? Greg, I certainly hope that's not the case. He looks timid. He's not looked the same since that injury. And he hadn't even been playing great ball before the injury. We're just not getting what we thought we were going to get out of him so far this year. That's really been one of the biggest surprises. Maybe it is just playing timid. He's afraid to re-injure. I don't know. Ty, I'm not saying you're hating on Little Rock. The most hardcore fans deserve one stinking game where folks can come over from West Memphis, Stuttgart, Paragould, etc. Yeah, but I hear you, Steve. I hear you. And it's just the economics today. It does not make sense to play down there. We're one of the very, very, very few teams in the country that do this. And we think we're all diehard about Arkansas, right? Everyone thinks around the state there's no other school like Arkansas, and there's some truth in that. I agree. But there's other teams that feel the same way that used to play in multiple stadiums, and they stopped doing it. Economically, it makes no sense. It used to cost $1 million. I can remember Jeff Long talking about that on Bo's show 10, 12 years ago. It used to cost $1 million. I think it was $1.1 million just to ship the football team down to Little Rock and play a game in your own backyard. What? Now obviously basketball is going to be a lot less, but what are we talking about? That's got to stop. With the gas prices going up and down and the inflation, think about the cost of feeding these guys. It just makes no sense to go down there. War Memorial's a dumpster fire. Shouldn't play there at all. Let U of L, let Arkansas State play inside there. I mean, I'm okay with basketball playing a game there. A lot of potential players there. You can make more of an argument for basketball than you can football. You can because you have so many home games. I'm not as, you're not going to hear me be as aggressive about basketball. I wish they would play all those games in Fayetteville. Yes, I do believe you should play all your in-state games. In other words, if you're going to play in Arkansas, you need to play on your campus. But I'm not going to – maybe I have a little bit tonight, but I'm not really that bothered by it like I am the football team. It makes no damn sense for baseball or football to be playing off campus. None at all when you've got home games. History, Little Rock didn't want U of A initially. Oh, is that true? Someone had told me they almost were in Little Rock. They almost started the university there. I don't know if it's true or not. Ty, bottom line is this team is not that good. A lot of talk and no coaching, says Charles Harper. I mean, Charles, I can't debate with you on that. I can't. This, to me, looks like a trash team right now. This, to me, looks like a trash basketball team. Calling it like it is, okay? With the potential of some big-time basketball. We'll see what happens. Oh, okay. Gary Davis, learn your history. I love that one. Learn your history, Larry. Or Gary, I'm sorry. How about you just chill out? It's not that big a deal, I promise. It's not about the crime thing going to Little Rock. It's about revenue for the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville. Get off my lawn, Gary. This is an Arby's drive-through, Gary. I don't know if he's talking to me or someone in chat. I've always wondered if Muss's hissy fits every 10 seconds messes with the players. You people apparently are unacquainted with the notion of spending money to make money. Gary, tell me, how much money are they making playing games inside War Memorial? Come on now. You're trying to school us and learn our history. How much money are they making playing games inside that god-awful stadium that now completely belongs to the state of Arkansas, that manages it so well? You heard about the concession stand issues this year, right, Gary? I don't know, man. You just sound like get off my lawn. Back in my day, that's right, Brian. As much as the state is paying to maintain the stadium. Yeah, it belongs to the Parks and Rec, isn't that right? Why take the advantage of Bud away just to appease the Little Rock crowd, says Anthony White. I mean, I have no doubt Lipscomb would not have drawn great in Fayetteville. It only drew great in Little Rock because that's the one game they get. Of course they're going to go to that game. I'm sure tickets weren't that bad. Tickets wouldn't be that bad at Bud Walton, but War Memorial holds 20,000 less. Gary, it's not your lawn either, my friend. Give it time. They will not be playing football down in Little Rock within the next 5 years. That might piss you off, but you're just going to have to deal with it because you know what? It's not your lawn. One thing about War Memorial, we actually win there. Funny, the last time I was there, they lost to Missouri. I'm going on with you, Gary, because this is kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. People keep bringing it up in chat. You know how this goes. I interact with chat. They want to talk about Little Rock. I'm talking about Little Rock. I don't understand this team. They don't look great against mediocre teams. Couldn't hang on to a 20-point lead. Needed not a miracle, but an open three to avoid overtime against a team down 2 stars, two of their better players. Just bad. Not good basketball. Not good basketball. And I don't know. I don't know what the fix is. We saw a different look tonight. We saw a different rotation. We saw different starters. They looked, I mean, for a minute they looked better. But for the most part, especially in the second half, they looked atrocious. I mean, it's kind of wild when you look back. You know, you got really that Oklahoma score was not 79-70. It wasn't. Oklahoma had a pretty big lead in the second half. Arkansas managed to bring it down to single digits. Riding a nice little your largest win streak of the year came against Alcorn State, Gardner-Webb, and Old Dominion. And then UNC Greensboro comes to town. They beat you by 6. You win an ugly game versus Stanford. You lose the next 2 against Memphis and North Carolina. You play great against Duke. I mean, that team against Duke looked really good. And now Duke overrated, sure. You know, at that time, Duke wasn't playing super great basketball. Right now, they're 7-3. They're still ranked inside the top. I think they're 21st in the country, 21st or 22nd. They have not. They just haven't figured it out. Not consistently. They don't know how to play consistent as a team. Ole Miss is 9-0. South Carolina 9-1. Kentucky 8-2. Mississippi State 8-2. Auburn 7-2. That's who you open up conference play against. I just don't know. So Gary's going to get on to me for keep talking about it. He's going to bring up that I keep talking about Little Rock, and he's still going on about Little Rock. Oh, man. Even high school playoff championship games want to play in Fayetteville. It's a disaster down there. And listen, if you're going to spend money to fix War Memorial, well, you're going to have to use taxpayer money to do it, and I don't want my taxes going to that. I'm sorry. How long ago for the Missouri loss? Know your history. One of only wins this year, Western Carolina. I was there. KJ was not seeing. Yeah. Do you have any idea how many people in Little Rock are watching you right now? I have no idea. I know I've got a pretty good audience in Central Arkansas, or I did. Hair of the dog, me not wanting to play in Little Rock, if that bothers you, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Plenty of people in the media, radio, whatever, they all think the same thing. Get out of Little Rock. If people in Little Rock don't like to hear that, I'm sorry. Get thicker skin. I don't know what to tell you. People who live in Little Rock don't want to be. I don't want to hate on people in Little Rock, man. I'm not hating on people in Little Rock. You know, the way I see it is we're all Arkansas. I mean, that's the way I see it. I just don't. I want to play in a place that at least that doesn't look like War Memorial. It's embarrassing. That stadium is just embarrassing. And I want to play on campus. I don't know why that would trigger anybody. No, the facilities suck. I agree, but dude, lighten up. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. We don't exist to the rest of the state. Try being in Northeast Arkansas. We don't exist to the rest of the state. Man, that's beautiful country over there, though. I've driven through there a couple times. It's beautiful. Northeast Arkansas is gorgeous. That arena is trash, too. I'd be glad to come on the show someday as a special guest. We can talk about Little Rock. Why? Why would I want to talk to you about Little Rock? My opinion is I don't want to play there anymore. That's it. That's it. I don't know. You're not going to change my mind. All right. Northeast Arkansas is all Jonesboro to me. I got a friend that lives in Piggott. Good old Piggott, Arkansas. I've never been I've been through Jonesboro. I've never actually like hung out in Jonesboro. I've got family over there. And again, Little Rock, I like the drive down there. I do. It's one, honestly, I like taking, I've got family down there too. My wife has family, actually in Beebe, Arkansas. I've got family in Benton and Bryant, friends down in Little Rock. When we drove down to New Orleans several years back, I like driving through Arkansas. I think it's a beautiful state. Little Rock can be a bit much. It can. But there's parts of Little Rock that are awesome, parts that aren't so great, just like Fayetteville, only a lot bigger in Little Rock. All the people down there I've never had any issues with. When I went down there when Arkansas played in Missouri, a few of the people who recognized me, super nice. One of them brought up, Ty, I'm surprised you're here. And I'm like, why wouldn't I be here? Of course I'm here. I'm not going to call Little Rock people I'm not going to talk down to them at all. I mean, the way I see it is everyone's Arkansas fans. Again, my only stance is I don't want to play down there anymore. And again, basketball, whatever. Okay, you can get a game. I still think you should play all your home games in Fayetteville. Football, you don't get a lot of opportunities at home. They haven't had a lot of opportunities, especially with this nonsense going on with A&M. Play that game as a home at home. And just no more Little Rock for football. For sure, football. That's it. That's all. I don't know why I would want anyone to come on as a special guest and talk about Little Rock. So, all right, chat really wanted to go in on Little Rock, and I went there with you. But it is what it is. What happened tonight, I'm not super thrilled about the future, but I hope they can get it turned around. Arkansas's got a long ways to go, and it's not an overnight fix. Fortunately, you have pretty good sized gaps in between each of these games to get it right. You've got pretty good gaps to figure this thing out. Whether they do or not, I don't know. I really don't. I'm a lawyer. It's my job to change minds. I'm just not interested. I'm done. Appreciate you guys for being here. Agree to disagree. Firm handshakes all around, right? They won tonight. Hey, all right, yay. We'll be back on Monday. Talk about what happened. We'll go into more of the KJ stuff on Monday. Hopefully they've made a couple more moves in the portal by then, so that means tomorrow or maybe Monday during the day. I do plan on an evening or later in the day stream. Now my kids are home for Christmas break, so my schedule might get a little crazy. I might just go live whenever I'm able to go live. So I do appreciate you guys, even those of you who are fuming over things that I've said. Sorry. Well, really, I'm not. I mean, it just is what it is. We'll have to agree to disagree. But no disrespect to the fine people outside of Northwest Arkansas. No disrespect to the diehard fans down in Little Rock. It's just time to move on. So yeah, I will see you guys on Monday. Have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll come back to this thing on Monday, and we'll figure out what's going on with the transfer portal. Got some pretty good pickups lately. Possibly one more coming. Hopefully it happens before we go live on Monday. So we'll get all caught up on all that on Monday. You guys have a good rest of your weekend.